Hello, I think I forgot to put the light on. Can you hear me in the chat? Let me know. There we go. Much better. Audio is okay. Excellent, because I had to reinstall my Windows and because I fucked up with certain disk partition. You know, I was playing around with the my SSD, my L.2 SSD configuration, and then the Windows installation went. My Windows just went kaput. Anyway, how did you like the Jens? How did you like the the first parts of the video or the story? It took me a long ass time to make it. Actually, I had trouble getting people to talk. Actually, which is not really a surprise, I think, in a case like this. But I had really trouble getting people to talk, and then I got this one man for an interview. If you didn't already figure it out, that was my dad. So I hadn't spoken to him in well over a decade. So it was wasn't really comfortable. Anyway, the book I mentioned is this. This here is kind of the there seems to be this is kind of the modified coat of arms of the town. What do you mean? What do you mean? There seems to be things missing. Do you mean like missing information, or missing from, you know, as in things that I missed in editing? It took a long ass time to get to piece that shit together. I mean, not shit, but okay. Anyway, the Satanic Panic tells about the Satanic Panic for the most part. That was a big thing in my hometown in particular. But now let's have he was, I mean, he was smart enough to have the cash. I mean, he was according to witnesses from that night, it's apparently he had been drinking heavily, but he was intoxicated or at least was at some point during the night. He was heavily intoxicated, but witnesses have said that towards the taxi ride, which started approximately 2:20 a.m. that Good Friday morning, he had sobered up a bit and was, you know, could take care of himself. unlike the second man who got off from the taxi halfway. Now, that's where's my phone? There's my phone. I need to check something off my phone. Anyway, so there actually the man I interviewed, my dad, he actually wrote the obituary for Markku in the local. It was half a page long, and the writer, Katri Ylinen, who has a picture here, nice lady. I was in touch with her briefly. Now, what my dad said about Markku in the book, he called in this interview with the writer. He called him Uka, which is like translates to Georgie. This came from the 1980s youth book character Uka Yksinäinen, George the Loner. I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know where that comes from, because Mark was known as forever single and a loner, or a very private person. And he proceeds to say, all in all, regardless, Yuka was kind of a calm and down to earth kind of guy. He was involved in lots, but wasn't very visible anywhere. And he heard all kinds of rumors over the years about who it could have been, but nice things anyway. Yes. So the temperature at the time, I couldn't get exact readings for this particular town, but I checked the temperatures for the nearby airport, which is maybe two or three, maybe 3 kilometers away. To somewhere between maybe, let's say, 3 kilometers away across the lake, across a lake. So it's fairly accurate. I checked three different weather stations. Luckily, there's data dating back to 1996. Quite exact data. How many like centimeters? There was maybe somewhere around in the area, in forested areas and covered areas, there were 35 centimeters of snow. Temperatures were clearly in the negative Celsius. Yeah, and Marco had been drinking the entire night until 1 a.m. until the bar closed. So there are plenty of theories, and I have actually my own theory as to who who did it. I have my strong suspicions on who did it, but I will come to that in the second part of the video, because it takes quite a bit of getting into. So I have a personal connection into this, as I mentioned in the interview. Markku came to our place for a Green Party meeting not long before the events described in the video. And yes, alcohol could make you not feel the cold. That's true if you drink enough. And Jens says hypothermia tends to creep up slowly. You get sleepy, and with the alcohol, he may not have felt himself slipping away. Yes, and the thing is that he was beaten. Uh, as I said, there's no witnesses, no sightings, nothing confirmed between 2:30, 2:37 a.m. and 7 a.m. So anything could have happened. Anything, in theory, he could have driven to Helsinki and back. I mean, in theory, he had that's like 3 hours. Well, maybe not Helsinki and back, but almost. I have my suspicions. I've always had my suspicions, and there were. I remember there being accusations of a local communist politician. Uh, Rest in peace, but he would have had something to do with it. Like he was incredibly incredibly obese, so there's no way in hell that man could have done it. So, and he's long gone now, so who knows? But I don't think I don't think that you is me the usual suspects. I don't think it was this communist politician. I don't think he had anything to do with it. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, he had some shady bit. He did do shady shit. Yeah, he did do shady shit, but he was no killer, to my knowledge. He was no killer. Um, but there have been other theories like this drug theory, like as he had some he was like the persona non grata in the drug circles in town. So he was really not well liked in the drug scene of the town. But I don't think it was had anything to do with drugs. It, I mean, it could have. I mean, the events leading up to the murder or the manslaughter, some 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 things may have had something to do with drugs. I mean, maybe he saw something he shouldn't have, got smacked, got smacked, escaped, uh, just had a brain bleed, and then died off in the cold. Um, Maybe, but highly unlikely. But I will come to these theories, if you will, later on in the second video. But this was because this whole thing was challenging in a way of getting, because I had there's very limited information in general. very little has been made public by the law enforcement. Uh, they because they try to keep it tight together, because they even made an arrest the night before the statutes of limitation ended in 2016. And then, their reasoning was, okay, it's gone cold, no reason to tell anything. They haven't even published the official cause of death, but it's been clear, they have not directly they have not directly indicated the cause of death, but we think the public has been what the public has been able to gather from what the crumbs the police have given us. It's clear that he had been beaten, and from very early on, I remember. Remember in my 20s when they said that he was that there were no um, visible external trauma, uh, as in there was no stab wounds, no gunshot wounds, so he had no blood, and there was no blood. Actually, the Kahvi Ylinen's dad said, because he was there before the police came, he was one of those who found the dog. They're, you know, walking their dog or something, and found him, and he said that there was no blood. I mean, like, it was as if he was sleeping, except that he wasn't. Well, he was sleeping for good. So the first version of what I heard as to the cause of death, that it was, you know, they found they concluded that it was a homicide after the autopsy. Before that, as my dad said, they had no idea before tox screens, autopsies, etc. That as the they didn't know the cause of death. That's how it goes sometimes in homicide investigations. Yeah, but this hasn't been published in English yet. Um, I doubt there will be a translation, because the English literary scene sphere is filled with uh, it's filled with books about the satanic panic. So, but it's a refreshing. This is a really refreshing read, because this is really made really well. The text is really good. I really liked it, and even though I'm dyslexic, it's easy to read, because the font. I think the font that they oh, and when I take the paper cover off, it's just a pentagram and the name on the side. But the font is really really, for a dyslexic person, easy to read. And I actually have a signed copy. I happen to get a signed copy, right, because I'm a Satanist, and the Satanic Temple Finland, the Finnish branch of the Satanic Temple, provided a link to this book, to a link to this book around the time it was published, uh, to purchase a signed copy and get 25% off. So it was really, I think it was 25%, something 25%, something like that off. So it was really generous from the, they had a deal. The Satanic Temple and the writer had some sort of agreement or something, I think, to get this. You see, if you buy this from a regular bookstore, really you don't get the signed version unless you happen to come across the writer. Seems a nice person. Yeah, I've been away a while because of work, and I've been busy with many other things, and I've been working nights doesn't always allow very regular, and working shifts anyway doesn't always allow uh the most regular schedule. So yeah, but actually my work schedules have changed a bit from what it was for over a year. So hopefully now I will be able to stream more, and make recorded episodes more. I hope, and there will be in December there will be a very special episode because we will be going to Japan. Katya and I are going to Japan because we're getting married in October, in actually in just over a month. So 7 weeks from now, I think. 2, 4, 5. Uh, just over 6 weeks from now. So, and we're going on a honeymoon in to Japan. We're getting married on October 24th, and we'll be leaving um, on December. No, November. I need to check the dates. I'm sorry. I've been a bit sick. And we're leaving on November 22nd, and we'll be there for 2.5 weeks. It's really nice. But hey, I think I'm gonna go because I've been, as I said, I've been sick, so I'm running out of energy. Really, it's been it's been a long day, and I'll try to get some. I need to get some things done. Uh, Reason will be going to daycare because I will be going shopping tomorrow, so I need to get going. I hope you enjoyed the part one of Markku Mallat videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Why doesn't this work? Fuck this. Fuck this button. Fuck. Why doesn't my shitty my fucking stream deck doesn't work? Why the fuck doesn't it work? Okay. Jens says you might like Escape from Yoke Island, a good read in my humble opinion. I'll try if I can see if I can find. Actually, write that down if I can find a piece of paper. Gotcha. har du papper?
Ja,
Jag vill skriva.
du vill skriva.
Ja, jag vill skriva på... Ja. What was it? Escape from your kind. Yeah, no, it's not the driver. It was the software because I hadn't. I was stupid enough to not make sure it's properly configured because I have one of these, so I hadn't reconfigured the thing enough. This is just something that I had time to do the other day. I was sort of laundry. Laundry. Series. Well, Charles. Okay. Oh. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.